Hi, this is Carol from Al's Quilters, giving you another one of my favorite things videos. And today we're going to talk about thread. I have sort of reduced the amount of thread that we sell at the shop to include what I consider my favorite things in terms of thread. So I have 5 different threads out that I'm going to talk about because they serve different purposes. One of the nicest threads out there is the Hemingworth poly thread. That is your basic embroidery thread. It comes in great colors. It's very easy to use because of the little dome cap that comes with this product, and you can just slip the thread through there and cap it, and then you don't have traveling thread. This also serves, if you take the cap off and you put this on your machine, this also serves as sort of the same idea of the thread net, that kind of controls the way in which the thread feeds off of the spool into your machine. So it's a very nice product. The downfall is it doesn't come in as many colors, so my second favorite is the Robeson Anton, and we also sell that, and that comes in, gosh, probably 3 times the number of colors. So those are 2 great options for your basic embroidery thread. That's usually where people stop. They have their embroidery thread, and then they don't have anything else. But there are 2 products that we also sell. One is the RNK Flawless thread, which is, I always have to check on this to make sure, is a 60 weight thread. So this is going to be a much thinner thread than the 50 weight, which I believe this is a 50 weight. No, this is a 40 weight. So this is much less or much thinner than the 40 weight, which is your typical, again, your typical embroidery thread. This weight thread is great for if you want to do small designs. Small designs have a lot of coverage in the embroidery, and so with this you're going to have that nice coverage without it looking like a big blob of something. So like, for example, if you're doing a bee and you have a tiny little bee that you're embroidering, you would want to use the smaller thread so that you could really see the stripes of the bee rather than having it just be this big mass of a bee. It's also good for the micro lettering, and I also have recently used it with our machines. Our embroidery machines, we can only do a double stitch on our background fills. We don't have the option of doing a single stitch, and sometimes that can get very thick, and so if you use the lighter weight thread, you get less of a background fill, so it sort of recedes into the background rather than fighting with your embroidery design, and so it makes a great background fill as well. The Quilters Select Para Cotton Poly is an 80 weight, so it is thinner even yet, and I would use these interchangeably depending on what I'm doing and what kind of look I want. But don't be afraid to experiment and to use different weight threads, because they are made for different purposes, and they're made to be used. So use them for, to get different looks and so on. There are limited colors in the Quilters Select. There are more colors in the Flawless, but they're both great products and are great for the uses for which they are intended. Then the next one I love is the Mettler. And the Mettler is a cotton that I use for piecing, and a lot of people use the Aurifil, which the Aurifil is a great product. But the Aurifil comes in limited colors, and the Mettler comes in far more colors. So if I'm especially doing garment sewing or embellishing, surface embellishment, I will tend to use the Mettler because of the variety of colors. But it's a good quality thread as much as the Aurifil is, and you do get less. This you only get 220 yards out of, but it's a nice alternative, and it's nice to use every now and then. I don't know that I would use it for, to piecing a whole big quilt. Certainly, financially, I would want to use the Aurifil where I can have more thread to work with, but this is a great alternative for smaller projects. And then the last one is my absolute favorite of all times. So R&K Embellish came out several years ago with a matte thread. And matte thread takes away the shine and glimmer of the regular poly thread. And I love using this. It gives you a totally different look. It can give you a vintagey look. It can, in combination with the regular embroidery thread, like for example, if you wanted to do a bird, I would do the bird breast in the matte, because the breast usually isn't the beautiful, exciting part of the bird, and I would do the wings in the poly. And so they can play off of each other, and you can do the matte and the glimmer all in, together. And so again, these different threads will give you different effects. And so if you think of these as paints and you want to achieve a certain effect with your embroidery, you will want to use the different products that are available. I really truly love working with the matte thread and the look that it gives, especially when I use them in combination with the regular. It has a nice play. It's just like with fabric, you don't want to have all glittery fabric. You want to break that fabric up with some mattes or solids or things like that, and it's the same idea with your thread, that you want to have a different effect with your embroidery. So come on in, explore what we have, and play around with these great threads that we have, and see what it can do in your artistic creativity and enhance your abilities as a machine embroiderer.